Oftentimes I get asked, Blade, who should I pick out of my XP reward path choice pack? And I'm gonna get into each and every single pack for you. But before that, let me know if you guys want to see some tier list videos from me. I will drop them daily. I'm going to start it off with the boss pack because that is the most important choice pack inside of the XP reward path. And the number one pick for all should be Francisco Lindor. The only time you would not select Francisco Lindor as your number one pick is if you made a ball player and went ahead and progressed his archetype all the way to diamond and got yourself a switch hitting diamond archetype ball player that has similar if not better attributes than Francisco Lindor. But if you're not going to go through that trouble, then Francisco Lindor should be your everyday shortstop. Why? Well, starting it off, he's a switch hitters, and switch hitters are the most important hitters inside of Diamond Dynasty. Without having runners in scoring position, he has over 100 contact on both sides as soon as you parallel one him. And then with runners in scoring position, he's going to have over 100 contact on both sides as soon as you parallel one him as well. Looking at the fielding, 99 fielding means he has the top of the top fielding animations at shortstop, and he's going to be able to dive a whole lot further to make plays that normal shortstops wouldn't inside the game. 98 reaction also helps him out a ton. The only downside to him, which is not really a downside, is his arm strength, but there aren't that many bang bang plays inside of Diamond Dynasty where the shortstop's arm is what's considered the difference maker. 76 speed is not great for a shortstop, but it's decent considering all the value that we're getting from hitting. Number two is gonna be Munetaka Murakami. This is a lefty that is even better against left-handers. The first thing you got to look at is the fact that he has maxed out power against both sides. That in all is amazing. Then, without runners in scoring position, he has 108 and 111 contact. That is amazing. With runners in scoring position, he has 105 clutch, which means he has 105 contact against both sides. At third base, he has gold fielding animations with silver reaction animations. As soon as you parallel one him, he is going to have both gold fielding and gold reaction animations. And 75 speed for a third baseman is actually really good. He is a lefty, and most dominant pitchers inside the game as of right now are all right-handers, so whether you're using him at third base, first base, or designated hitter, this card is going to be a problem. Number three, we have Bob Gibson, and that should not be a surprise to anyone. Currently inside of Diamond Dynasty, there are not a ton of great starting pitchers, so Bob Gibson being free is going to be amazing. The other starting pitchers are either behind that 12-0 wall or that collection reward for set 1, being Pedro Martinez and Bob Feller, or maybe inside that Around the World Baseball Classic pack, which is no longer available, or the chase pack for Shohei Ohtani. There are a ton of other starting pitchers that are going to be good, but not as good as Bob Gibson, and they're going to cost a lot more. So get Bob Gibson for absolutely free. Not only does he have an amazing arsenal in the four-seam, slider, sinker, curveball, changeup, he also has 108 hit per 9, and then his pitching clutch whenever there are runners in scoring position is maxed out at 125, meaning he's going to shrink the PCI. And in addition, making this card a whole lot better is the fact that he has outlier 1 on that fastball. You get 3 out of the 5 diamonds inside the boss choice pack, and these are 3 out of the 5 diamonds that I would select. Before we continue, let me remind you to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Go inside the description, check out the Twitch, Discord, social medias, and how to become a member. Aiming for 25,000 subscribers before the end of April. Blade, what about Devin Williams? Why isn't he in the top 3? Well, although he has maxed out hit per 9, and he also does have maxed out pitching clutch, you need to look at his arsenal before anything. He has a screwball, a four-seam, and a cutter. To very good hitters, the four-seam and the cutter, yes, they come in at different pitch speeds and they have different movements, but at the end of the day, it's a fastball. And when the only other pitch he throws is a changeup in the form of a screwball, it makes it a whole lot easier for hitters to just say, hey, if it's not coming hard at me, just drop the PCI, and if it hangs, you bang it. This Rickey Henderson card is amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you all. It has great contact numbers, good power numbers, and then the clutch at 103 is also good enough. He has 87 fielding, which is fielding animations at the level of gold with diamond reaction animations at left field, and then 99 across the speed, stealing, and base running aggressiveness. The only problem is that you only have 3 choices out of the 5. The only way you get more choices is if either you go ahead and get lucky with the unlimited wheel spin, or you go into the marketplace and purchase these cards. Because we are limited to 3, the first 3 are the first 3 that I would go ahead and select select 10 out of 10 times. You get an everyday shortstop that most likely will last you until set 3, and you get yourself an everyday third baseman that can be your first base or designated hitter as well. EB Chipper Jones, that is what we're going to call Yoan Moncada. He is inside of the World Baseball Classic pack. Inside of this pack, you are only able to get 4 out of the 7 diamonds. Who would I select first? Of course, it's going to be another switch hitter. If you went ahead and selected LINDOR first, then this is a great addition to the team to have 2 switch hitters on your squad. Not only does he have great contact at 99 and 103 without runners in scoring position, whenever there are runners in scoring position, he's going to have even better contact since his clutch is at a 109. He also is playing third base at a gold fielding animation caliber level, and once you parallel him up to parallel 2, he is also going to have gold reactions. 66 speed is not bad for a third baseman either, and being the switch hitter he is the icing on the cake. At number 2, we're gonna have Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano, middle infield are usually the 2 hardest positions to go ahead and fill up inside Diamond Dynasty with good players. He not only has good contact against right and good power and contact against left as well, but the clutch at 115 is one of the highest clutches we have seen so far on a hitter. He also plays second base at a gold fielding animation and reaction level. The only downside really you see to Robinson Cano is just the fact he has 40 speed, but if you've played any MLB The Show in the past, you would know that this Robinson Cano card has one of the best swings inside the game. Some people would go as far as to saying it's glitchy, and that's why he comes in at number 2. At number 3, we have probably the best well-rounded card here besides Yoan Moncada, and that is gonna be Jung Hoo Lee, excuse me. He has over 110 contact against both sides with no runners in scoring position, over the 80 power threshold that we would want, and then he has 104 clutch, so with runners in scoring position, he still has over 100 contact against both sides. He has 85 fielding and 83 reaction, gold fielding and reaction animations, and a pretty good arm at an 86 arm strength with 78 speed. He is the complete package at center field. The only problem I see with him in terms of why we're picking him third is the fact that there are a ton of outfielders that you can get from the Team Affinity pack that will go ahead and perform just as well as him. Number 4 pick would be Johnny Cueto. Now, once again, we do not have a great amount of starting pitchers, let alone great free starting pitchers for us to select. So Johnny Cueto, with the arsenal of a sinker, circle change, cutter, four seam, and a slider, that is a great arsenal whether you believe it or not. The only problem with Johnny Cueto is that none of those pitches are coming in at outlier pitch speeds. So you're not gonna blow any of those pitches past anybody, but what you need to do is mix them up very well in order to keep the hitter guessing and be able to jam him. Also, 100 hit per 9 without having runners in scoring position, he is going to be decent, and 107 pitching clutch with runners in scoring position, he's going to be even better. So that also helps him out tremendously. He is also going to be one of the best free starting pitchers that you can get in Diamond Dynasty. Side of the reward path, you're only allowed to select 4 out of 7. So these guys are just bonus content just in case you get them from the wheel spin and you wanted to know who to select next. So at second base, we have Tim Anderson. He comes in at number 5 because we have a much better option in Robinson Cano, but Tim Anderson is going to be well-rounded as well, having silver fielding and reaction animations, as well as 84 speed, which is pretty good for a second baseman. He lacks a little bit on the clutch side, being a 98 as opposed to his contact numbers with no runners in scoring position. Number 6 is going to be Teoscar Hernandez, who primarily plays right field. At best, what I'm seeing this card to be is a platoon hitter. He is going to be great to bring off the bench against lefties. The fielding and the reaction are not ideal though, and that's what knocks down this card the most. Having 70 fielding and 70 reaction, that is going to be silver fielding and reaction animations at right field, and 83 speed definitely does help. But at right field or the outfield in general, in corner positions, especially if you play in a big ballpark, you're going to want speedy guys that have good reaction as well. Last but not least is going to be Freddie Freeman. Now, although he does have max clutch, and I'm a sucker for clutch this year, the unfortunate thing about Freddie Freeman is that he is a first baseman. Yes, he can play you a little bit of third, but he drops down to bronze fielding and bronze reaction until you get him to parallel 1. Then he has silver fielding animations at third base. Regardless regardless, him being a first baseman, there are going to be a ton of cards that can place first base as a secondary position that are going to be just as good, if not way better than this Freddie Freeman card. Jock Peterson would be a great example. In terms of the charisma pack, our number 1 selection is going to be Lee Smith. Keep in mind, you can only select 4 out of the 7 here as well. Lee Smith, there are not a great amount of bullpen arms that are going to be good inside this game. So Lee Smith is going to go ahead and give you a jump inside that department. He has a 95 hit per 9 and a 92 pitching clutch without being paralleled. Now he has a 4-seam, a slider, a cutter, and a forkball. Unlike Devin Williams, that slider gives him that horizontal off-speed movement, and he has a cutter to go ahead and allow you to fool the hitter a little bit. The only unfortunate thing about Lee Smith that would have made him a whole lot better is that he does not have outlier. At number 2 is going to be Craig Biggio. He plays second base primary. He has great contact numbers. The power numbers aren't there, but Craig Biggio has a good swing inside the game, and it should be more than good enough to go ahead and carry the ball. At 125 clutch, when there are runners in scoring position, he's going to have the max contact against both sides without even needing to parallel him. He has 91 fielding at second base, meaning diamond fielding animations, and if you parallel him up to parallel 1, he is going to have diamond reaction animations at second base as well. He is very speedy at 90 speed, and if you play him at catcher, that would be a great secondary position for him to play, as the fielding and reaction no longer are as important. If you play him at left field, he can play that as well, with the speed and the fielding and reaction animations being at a gold level, and he can even play center field for you. Inside the charisma pack, as we get to number 3 and number 4, it gets a little bit more difficult because these cards are not as amazing as the first 2. The first 2 blow these cards out of the water. We get Eric Davis, who is great against right-handers, and then versus left-handers, he's also good against, but better against right-handers, obviously. When there are runners in scoring position, he has 109 contact against both sides. Playing right field primary, he has 76 fielding with 79 reaction. You get him to parallel 1, that is going to be gold reactions at right field. That is going to be beautiful with 84 speed, and it continues going up. The difference between him and Teoscar Hernandez, in my opinion, is just the simple fact that as you continue paralleling this card up inside right field, he is eventually going to be able to get gold fielding animations in right field, which would be very beneficial to you. And the 109 clutch with the power against both sides, he's not more platoon in a way. He's the opposite of platoon, but can still hit against the other side. Number 4 is going to be Madison Bumgarner, but if you picked, let's say, Troy Gloss or Johnny Bench instead of Madison Bumgarner, I wouldn't blame you. But the reason why I'm selecting Madison Bumgarner as number 4 is, once again, there are not a great amount of good starting pitchers inside the game. Most great starting pitchers are right-handed starting pitchers, so there are not a good amount of left-handed starting pitchers that can go ahead and basically even out the lineups that you're going to be facing. 104 hit per 9 is great without runners in scoring position. 94 pitching clutch is okay. It's good actually with runners in scoring position. He has a 4-seam, a cutter, a sweeping curve, circle change, and a sinker. He also has a very good arsenal, one of the best arsenals you can have inside the game. You only can select 4, but we will go ahead and continue and apply the same concept that we did for the previous pack. So Troy Gloss comes in at number 5. He can play third base and shortstop. He has great power numbers and great contact against left-handers. Versus right-handers, whenever there are runners in scoring position, that contact is actually going to jump to a 91, but the clutch isn't amazing either. If we look at the fielding, 87 fielding, 84 reaction is going to be gold fielding animations and reaction animations at both third base and shortstop, and then 57 speed is not bad for a third baseman either. Following him is going to be Johnny Bench, and this is the definition of utility. Now, he's better against left-handers, so he's similar to Teoscar Hernandez in where he's a platoon hitter. 94 clutch is similar to Troy Gloss as well. He has 92 fielding with 78 reaction. So at catcher, the fielding doesn't really matter, but if you put him at any secondary, he's going to have gold fielding animations with silver reaction animations and then 45 speed over there. So in the corner infield, you should be able to get away with him playing that, but in the outfield, you should not be able to get away with him playing that just because of the lack of speed. Johnny Bench has never had an appealing swing inside the game, and I doubt that changes this year, and that's why he is at number 6. Last but not least is going to be Curtis Granderson. This is the definition of a platoon hitter. He has great contact and power against right-handers with no runners in scoring position, and then whenever there are runners in scoring position, he only has 84 clutch. Yuck. we don't like 84 clutch. All of our clutch, we want it to be near the 90s, if not into the 100s. He is a good fielder at center field, although having gold fielding animations and reaction animations and 81 speed should be able to help you out as well. But the problem with him is he's only good against right-handers. As soon as your opponent brings in a lefty, you might be in a little bit of trouble with GRANDERSON, and center field is pretty stacked out, and there are a ton of cards that you can get that will have more value than him, such as Jung-Hoo Lee. If you did end up enjoying today's content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. We're aiming for 25,000 subscribers before the month of April ends. Head inside the description, you got the Twitch, Discord, social medias, how to become a member. Check all of those out. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.